Listen closely, chosen ones. There's a deep truth many people feel, but rarely say out loud. The ones who are meant for something bigger in this life often go through the most painful journeys. Their lives aren't filled with ease or luxury. Instead, they're filled with chaos, change, heartbreak, and tests that seem too much to handle. But all of that is part of something greater. From the outside, it may look like they're being punished. But on the inside, something powerful is happening. They are not being broken just to fall apart. They are being broken so they can be rebuilt into something stronger, wiser, and more connected to their true purpose. People who are chosen for a higher path go through things others don't understand. They feel pain that has no name. They carry loneliness that no one around them seems to notice. And their struggles often seem unfair, as if life keeps hitting them harder and harder while others seem to coast by. But there's a reason. This pain isn't just suffering. It's transformation. It's a sacred kind of growth that only happens through deep pressure. Just like fire burns away the old to make space for something new, your trials are burning away the parts of you that no longer serve your purpose. If you've been feeling like life is testing you beyond your limits, if every day feels heavier, harder, and lonelier, this message is for you. You're not being torn apart to be thrown away. You're being torn apart to be rebuilt. Rebuilt into someone that can't be shaken, into someone who can stand tall no matter how strong the storm is. You're being shaped by a higher force, call it God, the universe, or life itself, into someone who can carry not only your own pain, but help others carry theirs too. If you're reading this and it feels like I'm speaking directly to your soul, take it as a sign. Type 111 in the comments. Let it be your signal to the world and to yourself that you're aligned with your purpose, that you're ready, and that this message found you exactly when it needed to. And before we go deeper, make sure you're subscribed to this channel or space. This is a place for people like you, the ones who feel too much, think too deeply, and often suffer in silence because the world doesn't always understand what they're going through. You've probably heard the phrase, diamonds are made under pressure. It's true, but most people forget how painful that pressure is. It's not gentle. It crushes, it breaks, it squeezes until there's no comfort left. That's what you're going through. You are the diamond in the making. Life is applying pressure not to break you, but to reveal your brilliance. You might feel like you're falling apart, but really, you're being reshaped into something extraordinary. The universe is not punishing you. It's preparing you to be someone who is strong enough to lead, heal, and inspire others, not by pretending to be perfect, but by being real. And that's why your suffering feels so personal, so heavy, because it is. You weren't meant to have a normal life. You weren't meant to live in the shallow end of experience. You are meant to dive deep into pain, into love, into purpose. And that kind of depth isn't free. It costs you your comfort, your safety, and sometimes even your identity. But it also gives you something most people never find, a deeper understanding of life and a heart that can truly connect with others. You might wonder why your life has been so hard, why you've had to face things that most people never do. The answer isn't easy, but it's powerful, because you're meant to help others find their way. You are meant to be a light in the dark. And to do that, you first had to walk through your own darkness. You had to learn what pain feels like. You had to understand what it's like to be broken, so when you meet someone else who's falling apart, you don't just give them advice, you give them hope. Think about it. How could you truly understand someone else's pain if you've never felt your own? How could you lift someone up if you've never had to lift yourself out of the mud? That's why your struggles are so specific, so sharp, because your life is teaching you not through theory, but through experience. That's what makes your wisdom real. That's what gives your words the power to heal. But to get there, you have to go through something few people are willing to face: the death of your ego. That part of you that clings to titles, appearances, status, or even your past self has to fall away. And yes, it hurts. It feels like you're losing everything. But in truth, you're not losing who you are. You're shedding who you thought you were so that your true self can come alive. The universe isn't interested in your mask. It's interested in your soul. And for your soul to leave, your ego has to step aside. This process of breaking down, of letting go, of being humble, it's not cruel. It's necessary. Because what's coming for you is bigger than what you've been through. Your next level of purpose, impact, and power requires a stronger version of you. And the only way to become that version is to face the fire now. The heartbreak, the betrayal, the failure, they're not the end of your story. They're the tools being used to build you. You're gaining emotional armor. You're sharpening your vision. You're becoming someone who can't be stopped by fear, doubt, or pain. Everything you're going through is part of the training. You may not see the full picture yet, but one day you will. One day, you'll look back and realize every painful step was necessary. Every lonely night, every hard decision, every moment when you thought you couldn't go on, all of it was building the strength you're going to need. You're not being prepared for the life you have now. You're being prepared for the life you were born to lead. And here's something most people forget. The more pain you carry, the more trust the universe has in you. You might ask, why me? But maybe the real question is, why not you? If you weren't strong enough, you wouldn't have been chosen. If your soul wasn't capable of rising from the ashes, you wouldn't be going through this fire. Your pain is a sign that you've been trusted with something sacred. You were given a path that others could not walk. And even when you doubt yourself, remember, God doesn't. Even in your lowest moments, you are not forgotten. You are not being crushed for no reason. You are being reshaped into someone who can carry not just your own light, but light for others too. And that's why your journey feels so heavy. Because it's not just for you. It's for the people you're going to help. The lives you're going to touch. The ones who will hear your story and find their strength. And sometimes, to hear that wisdom, to connect with that truth, you have to be alone. Not because no one loves you, but because silence is where the divine speaks the loudest. Isolation often comes before revelation. It's in the quiet moments, the lonely seasons, that your purpose becomes clear. So if you feel cut off from others right now, don't lose hope. You're not being left behind. You're being set apart. Sometimes in life, you'll feel like you're being pulled away from everyone. You'll feel distant from the people around you, and you might even wonder if something is wrong with you. But being alone doesn't mean you're unworthy of love. In fact, the opposite is often true. Some people are set apart, not because they don't belong, but because their journey needs focus and peace. When everything around you goes quiet, you start to hear your own voice clearly. You start to feel what your heart has been trying to say all along. That's when you begin to grow. Solitude isn't a punishment. It's sacred space. It's the stillness where your real self begins to rise. When you're no longer distracted by the noise of the world, you can finally connect with something deeper, your soul, your purpose, maybe even something divine. The universe doesn't isolate you to hurt you. It separates you so you can see clearly. People might leave. Doors might close. But not because you're not enough. They leave because they're not meant to walk the next part of your path with you. It's easy to feel like rejection means failure. Like being left behind means you're flawed. But what feels like rejection is often redirection. Life is saying, not this way. Try a new path. It's not the end, it's a turning point. So if someone left your life, if something didn't work out, know this. It's not because you're too broken or too sensitive or too intense. It's because your journey is about to go somewhere they can't follow. Not everyone is meant to see where you're headed, and that's okay. Empathy, real empathy, doesn't come from theory. It doesn't come from books or classrooms or quotes online. It comes from pain. It comes from heartbreak. It comes from nights when you cried yourself to sleep and mornings when you didn't want to get out of bed. Empathy grows in those moments when your heart is shattered, but you choose to keep it open anyway. When you've been through darkness, you learn how to sit with others in theirs. That's the gift. That's the reason. You've been through pain not to punish you, but to shape you. Life doesn't break you to destroy you. It breaks you to rebuild you, piece by piece, stronger than before. And in that process, your heart learns how to hold more love, more understanding, more grace. You don't just heal, you grow a capacity for compassion that's so deep, others will feel it the moment they meet you. One day, someone will come to you in their own pain, and you'll know exactly what to say. Not because you read it somewhere, but because you lived it. Before you came into this world, your soul already knew what it signed up for. On a level deeper than your mind can understand, you chose this path. Not because it would be easy, not because it would always feel good, but because you knew it would wake you up. You knew it would shape you into someone real, someone strong, someone unshakable. Your soul wanted to grow, and growth almost always comes through fire, through tears, through letting go of everything that no longer serves you. So yes, sometimes life feels unfair. Sometimes it hurts more than words can explain. But deep down, there's a part of you that remembers, this was the plan. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are walking the exact road that was meant for you. And everything you face, every ending, every loss, every lonely night, it's all part of your becoming. There's a truth we don't talk about enough. Resurrection always requires death. Not a physical death, but the death of illusions. The end of comfort zones. The falling apart of identities you outgrew. The you that once fit and might not survive the journey. But the real you, the one beneath all the layers, will rise from it. And to rise, you first have to fall. You have to let go of what was, so something new can be born. Think of a seed. Before it grows into something beautiful, it gets buried in the dark. It looks like the end. It feels like nothing is happening. But deep underground, it's breaking open. It's starting to change. It's growing roots. You're that seed right now. In the dark, in the quiet, in the unseen space where transformation is happening. It's hard. It's lonely. It's confusing. But it's not the end. It's the beginning. So when you feel like giving up, remember, you're in the middle, not the finish line. This is the part where it hurts. This is the part where you're being stretched. But this is also the part where you're growing into your power. The universe isn't being cruel to you. It sees something in you that you might not see yet. It knows your strength. It knows your purpose. And it knows that the only way to release it is to break what no longer serves you. Breaking isn't failure. It's a doorway. It's the moment when the light starts to come through. Your old self, the one built to survive, starts to fade. And your true self, the one built to thrive, starts to emerge. You may feel like you're losing yourself, but really, you're just shedding the version of you that was never the whole story. If you're reading this and it feels like it's speaking to your soul, that's not an accident. There are no accidents. You found this message because you're ready. Ready to let go. Ready to rise. Ready to finally believe that your pain isn't proof of weakness. It's proof of strength. You're not behind. You're not broken beyond repair. You're awakening. You're becoming. The path of the chosen ones, the deep feelers, the old souls, the ones who don't quite fit in, is never easy. It's full of silence, heartbreak, and change. But it's also full of magic. You'll meet yourself in ways you never imagined. You'll touch the lives of others just by being real. You'll turn your wounds into wisdom. And when you rise, and you will rise, you'll be able to reach down and help someone else too. That's why you're going through this. Not just for you, but for someone you haven't even met yet. Someone who will need your story. Someone who will be looking for hope, and you'll be the one who gives it to them. Your healing isn't just personal, it's a ripple. It's the way the world starts to change. So trust the process. Trust the pain. Trust that even when everything feels wrong, something right is being born. You may not see it yet, but one day you'll look back and understand why it all had to happen the way it did. Let yourself be soft even as you become strong. Let yourself cry and scream and fall apart if you need to. But don't give up. Not now. Not when you're so close to your breakthrough. This isn't the end of your story. It's the moment before the light breaks through the cracks. You were not made to fit in. You were made to shine. You were not made to stay small. You were made to rise. And if you've ever felt like the black sheep, like the outsider, like the one who feels too much, it's because you're meant to lead in a different way. With love, with empathy, with soul. So if this found you at the right moment, take it as a sign. You're not lost. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And the universe is getting ready to show you why. Let the pain teach you. Let the silence guide you. Let your soul awaken. And when you're ready, rise, not in anger, not in fear, but in purpose. Because the world is waiting to meet the real you.